All right, so how much does it cost to start a spice business? Well, I've done quite a few videos here on Marketing Food Online about starting spice businesses and how to do it, but I haven't broken down the actual cost. Now I'm going to show you a way to launch a very small home-based spice business that you can get up and running for less than $1,500. Yes, you've got $1,500 and you want to start a spice business. I'm going to walk you through exactly how that works. We're going to get to that right now. All right, so welcome back to Marketing Food Online. It's Damian Roberti, founder and CEO of Marketing Food Online. Got my marker. Now in this board behind me, I'm actually going to walk you through step by step how to get a spice business, very small, up and running spice business online. And as far as the costs are concerned, I'm going to break down each individual cost so you understand how to get up and running. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Damian, well, what kind of a business can I really start as far as a spice business for $1,500? Well, you can get one up and running, very small, very simple, very easy. And I'm going to say it's not easy to run, but it is easy to start if you follow these steps. Every small business, of course, is going to take work, time, patience, and everything else in between. So don't think that any business, for that matter, I've been in business myself for about 14 years now. It is not an easy task, but you can definitely do it if you're willing to do the work. So let's dive right into number one. Now, there's a couple of things you need to know about starting a spice business when you're sourcing your spices. You can, number one, create your own spice blends. You can bring together a multitude of spices and make them. You can sell spices individually as units, or you can pre-buy already made spice blends and repackage them and put your own label on them. So the first thing you want to do is get your spices. You want to figure out what kind of spices you want to have up and running. Now, this could run for your first investment only about $400 to $500. Yes, I highly recommend you start one with about maybe 2 to 3 variations, maybe even 4. But I wouldn't go anything much more than that when you first start. These price points I'm going to give you are going to be estimates, and they're going to be based upon starting about 2 or 3 different variations, not an entire lineup of 12, 16, 24 different spices. And if you don't have any e-commerce experience, I highly recommend you start small. And yes, you can do it with 2 or 3 variations. You don't have to have a ton of them up and running. So number one is going to be your spices. So number two, we're actually going to go with bottles. You're going to get your bottles, and you don't need 1,000 of them. You just need a few to get up and running. Now, bottles, I put you at a price point for bottles between about $100 to $200 in cost. It might be a little bit less, to be honest with you. That's a little on the high side. You've got spices, and you've got your bottles. Now, Damian, I want to go with glass bottles, or maybe I want to do some of those little tin square bottles that I've seen, or they're rectangular bottles that I've seen in the stores that are made of tin or metal. Here's a few things to think of. When you first launch a business, specifically with food, and you don't have a proof of concept just yet, you don't want to invest a lot of money in really high-end expensive packaging. You can always transition into a fancier packaging when you begin to turn a profit. But if you're starting something small and you want to start with a minimal investment, you don't need a fancy bottle, because your label, and I'll get to that in a minute, you can create these labels that'll make the actual packaging look fantastic. So plastic bottles are going to be great. You've got the shaker lid on top, you've got the cap, and that includes even the sealer, the plastic seal, safety seal for the top of it, okay? So you need some bottles, and that's going to get you about about $200. Number three, now you want to get into your labels. Here on Marketing Food Online, I've made numerous videos showing you how to actually print and make your own labels. When it comes to spice bottles, based on the size, I can tell you right now, you can print them for about 8 to 12 cents at the most yourself. Yes, 8 to 12 cents. The company that we specifically buy from, just to put a plug out there for them, is Online Labels. Online Labels is one that we actually create the label, and print it directly from their templates. We have to utilize their labels, of course, when you actually do that. I'll put some links down below here to those other videos for those labels as well, the label printing videos. They show you how you can actually make them very inexpensively. But 8 to 10 cents, and believe it or not, based on the size of spice bottles, based on what I know for the dimensions, it might actually be even less than that. So if you invested in labels for your first startup, you're only going to need around labels. You're going to need only around between $10 to maybe $20 worth of labels. Yes. And again, this is to get you started. Now remember, as you sell through these and you begin to make some money in your profit, you can transition to fancier labels if you want someone to print them. You can go to fancier bottles or packaging, or even just bags, whatever it may be. But you don't need that when you first get up and running. Number four, now remember, as you sell through these and you begin to make some money in your profit, you can transition to fancier labels if you want someone to print them. You can go to fancier bottles or packaging, or even just bags, whatever it may be. but you don't need that when you first get up and running. Number 4, you need to create a logo. Now, you don't have to be a graphic designer to do this. You can create a logo for $30 to $40 on Fiverr. Yes, I've actually had numerous labels that I've actually had, or logos that I've had made, anywhere from $35 to $45 I've done on Fiverr over and over and over, and they're fantastic. You got to make sure you get obviously the right maker, the right graphic designer, and get the specs as to what you want a logo to be, because that's going to be part of your brand and part of the image that you're looking for, but you don't have to make it rocket science. It doesn't need to be overthought. Okay, so don't overthink this too much. Fiverr's a fantastic place to go. You get it for around $30 to $40. Okay, so number 5 is going to be your website. Now, you need to make your own website. Do not, I repeat, do not have someone else make and produce a website for you. I know it sounds enticing, it sounds exciting. I can just pass it off to someone else. Here's the problem with that. If you build out your own store on Shopify, you build out a store on GoDaddy or Weebly.com, wherever it may be, you need to understand how the website actually works, the functionality and the everyday, day in and out, the working operations of your website. When you build it yourself on the back end, you're going to understand that. Because why? Why is that so important, Damien? Because if I hired somebody out to do a website for me and they created it, and then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or a month later, I have a problem with it, and I don't understand how that works. I have a customer who wants to buy $500 worth of spices, and they can't check out because maybe your cart's not put on there properly. Maybe you're not properly set up for PayPal or a payment processor. What are you going to do? Are you going to contact the person who made your website? Guess what? They're going to be about 20 or 30 websites down the road, and they're going to get back to you in a couple months. That's going to hold up your business. But if you spend the time to make your own website, it's going to cost you considerably less, and you're going to know how the website works. You can't just set it up and forget about it. Set it and forget it is not a good philosophy when it comes to e-commerce. It does not work. So you're going to set up a website, and guess what? It's only going to cost you about $40 to $50 to have a subscription for that Shopify store, for that GoDaddy store, whatever it may be. It might even be less than that. But our website right now costs us $49.99 a month through Shopify, because we have some other apps that we make, apps that we have attached to our website. So it's around $40 to $50. That's it. It's just going to take your time, and you need to be patient with it, and you can create your own. Upload your own images. You can take pictures with your phone. You can do the descriptions. You can do the keywords. You can do all of that stuff yourself. But to get up and running the first month, you're looking at about $40 to $50 for the website. Now, I don't recommend just staying on your own website. You need to be on eBay and Etsy, and if possible, you can go to Amazon. Well, Damien, doesn't this going to cost me more money? It sure will. But you know how much it is? A professional seller's account on Amazon, I believe it's $39.99 a month to have a professional. And then eBay, I believe it's around $29 or so. And then Etsy, actually per listing, it's around 20 cents plus a couple other fees. So you're talking, let's say on a high end, let's say $15 to get up and running. That is nothing. That's 40, 30, 70, 85 bucks. Very, very little. So you want to be on Amazon, eBay, and Etsy, and your own website, because here is the problem. There's a huge misconception that having a website online in e-commerce is all you need in order for you to sell spices or anything for that matter. That's wrong. It's incorrect, because you will not get any traffic to your website. So you need to be found on websites such as eBay that have an existing customer base. You need to be found on Etsy, which again has an existing customer base, and so does Amazon. All of these websites have traffic already that you don't have to actually pay for in order for you to at least expose people to your spices. If you want to get customers and get some eyeballs on your product, utilize their websites plus your own, because you're going to get a lot of people who are going to go to eBay or go to Amazon. They're going to find your spices and love them and buy them. Then they're going to learn a little bit more about your own website. So what they're going to do from there is go to your website that you built on Shopify or Weebly. So don't rely solely upon selling strictly on your own website. Leverage other platforms. That's what they're there for. Okay. Now, next up is going to be number 6. Let's get into some business and legalities of it. So you want to get your business license to do this. Now, you're going to be doing this from home. And even though you may fall under cottage food laws, there's actually a way that you can operate an e-commerce business completely from home without you even touching your spices. It's having a co-packer or a private label company produce them for you, send them to fulfillment centers, which we'll touch on in just a minute. Business license normally costs anywhere for a home license about 75 to 125 bucks. And these are annual. Okay, now with a business license, you also want to create an LLC. I'll have some links down below as well. You can actually check on LLCs you can create online for literally 100, 200 bucks, and maybe even 300 at the most, and you're done. And you can make them within 10 to 15 minutes. So your LLC formation, you're going to be about 200 to 300. Okay. Next up, you're going to get insurance. You need to have business liability product insurance. Insurance, Damien, doesn't that cost a lot of money? I got to pay. No, because you can use companies like the one that we use, for instance, is Next Insurance. Next Insurance allows us to pay by the month. Our monthly fee for that, I believe, is around $42 a month. So you don't have to come out of pocket with $500, $600, $700, or even $800 or $1,000 for an insurance policy for a whole year. You simply pay it by the month. So you're looking, again, start up your spice business around $40 to $50 at the most. That's for a basic product liability insurance. Now let's get into the logistics, where we just talked about fulfillment centers. So you're saying, Damien, I can run this business from home. Yes, the business side of it you can run from home. If you decide to go online, there's two ways to do this. Your spice business can be run from home, and you make the spices and you bring the products and you create ingredients, you put them together, you sell them locally at farmers markets, or you sell them online in some states that allow you to ship within the state. Now, if you want to go the next step and you want to have a full-blown e-commerce business and you want to ship across state lines, you'll have to have a fulfillment center take the product from a co-packer, private label company, send that to a fulfillment center. Now, what's a fulfillment center, Damien? I have no idea what that is. So number 8 is fulfillment centers. These are websites. These are warehouses that will ship your product for your e-commerce website business. So that means that once the spice is made, you're not touching it, right? You're not shipping it over state lines. You can still operate from your home. Have the company, your fulfillment center, get the product from your co-packer or your private label company, and they put it in a warehouse, and they're going to charge you anywhere from 30 cents up to maybe about 75 cents per unit for spices. This is going to vary, of course, based on a couple of factors, but all in all, when you're talking about spices, they're very small and they're very lightweight, about 75 cents per unit. If you go with Amazon FBA fulfillment, they're skyrocketed their fees. If the product weighs more than a pound, you're talking about several dollars to fill it. It's outrageous. But a fulfillment center can ship the product through your website. For instance, you're selling on eBay. I go there and I buy your spice. You can have the fulfillment center ship your eBay order for you. So again, you're not doing the logistics. You're not doing the fulfillment. That would be outside of the realm of cottage food, and that's not legal, technically. So if you do this way, this method actually allows you to operate your business from home, a home office, but you're not manufacturing, you're not making them there. You're having a co-packer do it for you. Lastly, you want to do on number 9. This is going to be what we talked about, local. Now, if you want to make them yourself, you want to buy the spices and blend them and create a spice blend product or a whole line of spices and sell them at farmers markets, fairs, and festivals. There are fees involved with that. So, Damien, you want to talk about $1,500 or so for spice business. How much does it cost to sell locally? Well, farmers markets, local venues are going to charge you either a couple of ways. A flat fee they're going to charge you. They can say, hey, you got for $100, you can be here the whole weekend. $100 farmers market, maybe even less than that. Set up your tent, set up your area. You can sample out your spices, you can sell your spices, and so on. That's a local fee. Now, it could also be the other way where they're going to charge you a percentage. They say, Damien, well, we charge 5% of whatever you make. So if you want to start a local spice business, you can be charged either a flat fee for local events or a flat fee with a percentage or just a percentage. Again, very minuscule, very small startup. You can start this business with less than $1,500. So if we added up all of these here, you've got on the high end, let's just take the high end estimations, 500, 700, 720, 760, and you're looking at 810, you're looking at about 90, so that's around 1,000, 1,300, 1,340. You're looking at just over $1,500, slightly over $1,500 to get started. So what business can I start with around $1,500 or $2,000 less? And can I even do a spice business? Yes, you can. This is a very quick, easy breakdown of what it would cost to get up and running. Now, some of these might be slightly higher, but also some of them might be slightly lower as far as your fees. But can you get a spice business started for this much money? Most definitely you can. You can even do it online, and you can have an e-commerce business up and running immediately, or you can even sell it out of your house through cottage food law, because most states, actually almost every state that I know of, when it comes to spices and spice blends and herbs and such, that is something that is allowed, and it's not a non-potentially hazardous food product. So you can do it at home, and you can even expand your presence online, and you can sell locally or even online. As long as you are having online, you've got a fulfillment center and you've got a company sending the product to you, so you're never touching it. Okay? So that is how much it costs to start a spice business. If you have any questions about it, definitely let us know down below. If you actually started or launched a spice business and you've got some experience, please leave us some comments, because some of our new subscribers here on Marketing Food Online would love to hear about it. But Also, check out these videos as well for any additional resources that you might be looking for and interested in. This will help you get some food businesses up and running. See you guys in our next video. How to start a spice business from home. So if you're looking to get into the spice business, guess what? Cottage food laws throughout the entire country allow you to actually start spice businesses from almost every single state. And it costs a lot less than you might think. So if you love spices and you're looking to dive into the spice industry and you want to start a small business from home, this is going to be the video you want to watch from beginning to end, because it's specifically about businesses from home selling spices. All right, welcome back to Marketing Food Online. So in this video, we are going to take a little bit of a deep dive into what it's like to start a home-based spice business. I'm actually not going to give you a bunch of random numbers. I'm going to give you specific steps that you need to take in order to launch an actual successful spice business from home. We're going to dive from number 1. We're going to go all the way down to 8. There's going to be 8 specific steps that are the most crucial in order for you to understand the process. And I'm going to make it short and sweet and to the point. So you might want to take some notes, or you can watch this video a few times back to back. Make sure you understand what it takes. Now, like I said before, if this is new, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. My name is Damian Roberti. I am a food entrepreneur. I have been with my wife for over 13 years now. We've operated our e-commerce businesses. I've owned bakeries, delis, and some catering businesses with our Italian bakery as well. So I've had a lot of experience in the food industry. So what I'm going to give you is definitely going to be some useful information. Number 1, market research. All right, so yes, I know it sounds a little boring, but yes, market research is essentially like doing homework before you start a project. You need to understand who would be buying your spices, your audience actually, what kind of spices they prefer, and who else is selling spices in your area as competitors. Now, how to do that? How do you actually do that, Damien? Surveys and feedback. Now, you can actually check with friends, ask friends, family, people online which spices or blends they often use, or do a little bit of research online to find out what is the most popular. Observation is also a good one. Look at what's selling in your local stores. Check out, just Google it, see what's selling online. Notice any trends like organic or even salt-free blends, which have taken off really in popularity. A lot of people are cutting back on salt. Salt-free blends of spices are hugely popular right now. Number 2, business planning. A business plan is a detailed document that outlines what you aim to do and how you plan to succeed. Now, it's kind of like a map for your business journey, showing you where you want to go and how you're actually going to get there. Now, some key components to executing a business plan. Number 1, executive summary. So this needs to be a snapshot of your business and goals. What exactly are the goals, and what type of business, obviously your spices, are you going to get into? Market analysis. Now, what you find in your market research. What is it exactly that you found about spices that are selling and not selling? What direction do you think you want to take your spice business? Financial plan. You want a budget and forecast of your earnings and your potential expenses. Now, this is a little tricky, but you can definitely project it and get an idea of how much you want to spend and where you think you'll be as far as sales. The most important step is number 3, sourcing the spices. This step is about finding the right ingredients for your products. You'll want to find suppliers who can provide high quality spices at a good price. Considerations to think about: quality versus price. Higher quality often means higher price, but better customer satisfaction. Believe it or not, nowadays you can get really good high quality online and numerous places on numerous websites, and you can actually pay a lot less than you might think. Here's a little tip. Make sure you get websites that give free shipping. If you have a set amount, if you spend like over $100, you get free shipping. Any website that charges on top of their actual rate, you could be overpaying. Number 4, compliance and licensing. Now, running a spice business from home means that you need to comply with local food safety and business regulations, and that normally falls under cottage food laws. So you want to specifically find out about your state. That's the most crucial thing. Every state is actually not the same. They're very different. So find out about your state's cottage food laws, and then you can go from there. Basic requirements: business license, obviously permission to operate your business. Many cottage food businesses actually do require some type of licensing or permit, so you want to, again, double check your state specifically and be sure that you apply for them. You don't want to operate without it. Also, get yourself an LLC and food business insurance. Now, by the way, down below in the description section, you can find some links to help you out as well. You can actually create an LLC online in a matter of just a few minutes actually. You can even get insurance policies very quick. So definitely check. We got some extra additional resources. Next up would be food safety permits. So you want to ensure your handling and storage of spices meet your health standards. That also is going to fall in line with what you are expected under your cottage food laws. Number 5, branding and packaging.
Branding is actually how you present your business to the world. Look like basically choosing the right outfit for the interview, if you will. Packaging not only keeps your spices fresh, but also needs to catch the eye of potential buyers. This could be actually online or even in retail stores if you're allowed to do that as well from home. So you want to make sure it stands out. Here's a couple of tips, by the way. Design. You want to make clear, attractive labels with your logo that tell the spice's story. Materials. You want to ensure your packaging preserves the spice quality, not just keeps them in containers. You definitely want to make sure you're using the right jar or container or packaging. Number 6, marketing and sales. Marketing is about how you tell people about your spices, and sales are obviously how they can buy them. So you want to ensure that you market. Some strategies for online marketing, by the way, using social media or a website to reach customers is a no-brainer, but you might want to learn some of the Facebook ads or Google ads. I'm going to have some videos here on Marketing Food Online that are going to show you exactly how to run spice business ads for Facebook, by the way. Number 7 is distribution. This is about how you get your spices into the hands of customers. Starting simple is key, such as selling direct to customers online or even local settings. Under cottage food laws, there's a multitude of ways locally to actually sell your spices. Here's some options. Direct sales. This is sell through your website or social platforms. Many states now allow you to have a sell online. As long as you are delivering it in person or you're following their shipping and guidelines, you can actually do it through the internet, even from your home platforms. Many states now allow you to have a sell online. As long as you are delivering it in person or you're following their shipping and guidelines, you can actually do it through the internet, even from your home. Retail partnerships. Local stores may actually agree to stock your spices. Many cottage food laws in many states actually allow you to sell through retail stores, believe it or not. Definitely a route you want to go. You can be much more profitable selling in bulk. Number 8, customer feedback and quality improvement. This is something you need to pay attention to. I cannot underestimate the amount of times that I've learned so much from customers who give us compliments and of course even complaints. You want to make sure you find out why. So after selling your spices, it's important to listen to what your buyers say to improve your products and services. This can be done through surveys or just even ask your customers for their opinion about their purchase. Review requests. If you're selling online on a platform, you can potentially have a review request and ask them to leave some reviews. So these 8 specific steps are a good foundation if you're looking to start a spice business from home. If you have questions about spice business, give us a comment down below. Check out our channel. We've got over 2 dozen more additional videos about spice businesses that'll be very helpful. I'll see you on our next video.
So what are the pros and the cons of starting a spice business? So in this video, we're going to go over the 30 pros and cons of launching and growing a successful spice business. And it's not always what it's cracked up to be. So I'm going to go down a list of all the good things. And of course, with every business venture, there is a downside. So I'm going to go over those as well. We're going to dive into those 30 pros and cons of spice businesses right now. Welcome back to Marketing Food Online. So in this video, as I mentioned in the introduction, we're going to give you some great tips and pointers on launching and growing a spice business, but we're going to give you the good sides and of course the downsides. Now, as always, if this is your first video, you definitely want to hit the subscribe button. We have over 1,000 videos here on Marketing Food Online to help you, the food entrepreneur, get your business up and running. All right, so the first thing we're going to dive into, the pros. So pros of starting and running a spice business. All right, so right off the bat, wide market. Everyone uses spices, obviously. They are essential in every kitchen globally. So there is a huge customer base for it already in the marketplace. Next up, increasing demand. With more people becoming food enthusiasts, the demand for unique but high quality spices is growing rapidly. Potential for a high profit margin. Now, if you source directly from farmers or produce your own spices, you can enjoy high profit margins with a very small spice business. Online and e-commerce selling. Spices are very lightweight, making it easy to ship, making online sales a viable option and broadening your market to nearly hundreds of millions of potential customers through Amazon, eBay, and even Etsy. Now, there's a low startup cost. Depending on the business model, starting a spice business can actually have a lower upfront cost than literally any other food business known. Now, this also has a flexible business model. It can be started from home. You can even start and sell in retail stores. You can sell it online, but the flexibility is diverse in where you can go with your commerce business. Easy to diversify. So once established, the business can easily expand into related products, things like herbs, you can do teas, or even spice blends, increasing your overall profit margin. Value addition opportunities. You can offer premium products like even organic spices, spice gift sets, or even spice blends, increasing your profit margin per transaction. Seasonal sales boost. Now, there are many spices that experience a high demand during certain seasons or festivals. So far, if you found this information helpful, definitely give us a big thumbs up. And as always, if you have any comments, leave them in the section down below in the comments. We love to build out video content on you guys, our subscribers' questions. So let us know about your spice business. Next up, food trends opportunities. Now, capitalizing on food trends like ethnic foods or even health-conscious choices can actually increase your overall sales for your spice business. It's something you definitely should look into. Global sourcing. So you could source spices pretty much from anywhere in the world, providing a diverse product range. And if you dive into spice blends as opposed to the individual spices, you can even have additional profit margins. Now, the other great thing is low storage space requirements. Spices are compact, guys, so they don't really take up a lot of requirement space for storing or even warehousing them. So you can have a ton of them in a very small amount of space. There's also the health and wellness market. Now, spices like ginger, turmeric are sought after for their health benefits, giving another additional market angle when you begin to sell these spices. Educational opportunities. Now, you can also offer workshops or even tasting events, believe it or not, and they can create a community of customers that are loyal to your brand within just your area. And if you go online, you can increase that. Long shelf life. Properly stored spices can actually last quite a bit of time, reducing your loss and spoilage. All right, so now that we've covered the pros, we need to cover the cons with every business, of course, as I mentioned, and every venture. Actually, there's always two sides to the coin. So let's dive into the downside, the things that are not exactly the most fun part of spice businesses or potentially not all that positive. All right, here are the cons of running a spice business. All right, so right off the bat, regulations and compliance. So food businesses, like spice businesses, face very strict health and safety regulations, which can be challenging to navigate, especially if you're just launching and don't understand them fully. Next up, supply chain complexity. Now, as I mentioned, sourcing spices globally can lead to a supply chain issue, including quality control, logistical issues, and even customs problems. Of course, heavy competition. The spice market is highly competitive. With several established brands that actually already have a significant market share, it's a little bit of a challenge to get other people to see your product, especially when you're online. Customer trust. Now, convincing customers to switch from their favorite brands to your small spice startup can be a difficult challenge, especially from the marketing perspective. Storage conditions. Spices need to be stored correctly to maintain their aroma and flavor, which can be challenging, even though they have a long shelf life. Spoilage and waste. Now, despite that long shelf life, spices can spoil or lose their potency, leading to waste over time if they're not stored properly. Now, next up is going to be marketing costs. Now, to stand out in a crowded marketplace, significant marketing and branding efforts will be needed in order for people to get the attention on your specific spice brand. Now, inventory management. Now, managing a wide variety of spices and blends can be complicated, especially when you're sourcing them from overseas or from a multitude of different countries. Fluctuating commodity prices. Now, this is a big one. The prices of raw spices can fluctuate literally from week to week, impacting your profit margins and making it difficult for you to be profitable. Quality consistency. Now, when you source, maintaining the same quality and taste across batches can be very difficult, especially if you're mixing them by hand and not using a lot of equipment. The initial capital. Now, while startup costs may be lower than other businesses, the initial investment for inventory, though, packaging and equipment for the inventory is still required and could be somewhat costly up front. Now, scaling your business. Scaling The business requires careful planning to maintain quality and, of course, customer satisfaction while you're trying to increase profits and productivity. Now, seasonality. Now, while certain seasons can boost in sales, there may also be slow periods affecting your cash flow when spices aren't predominantly used during holiday seasons or other events. Health claims. Now, making health claims about certain spices can lead to actually legal issues if you don't properly substantiate your claims through the FDA website. All right, so there you have it. It is the 30 pros and cons of launching and growing a spice business. Now, if you are contemplating a spice business for yourself, let us know what stage of where you're at in your business itself, and let us know down in the comments section. As I mentioned before, we love to build out our videos and we'll answer your questions through our Q&A questions on another video.
What is the target market for spices? Well, if you're looking to launch a spice business, you need to know who your customers are or who they're potentially going to be. So in this video, I'm going to run down a handful of tips and pointers to help you pinpoint and precisely know who's going to buy spices and why they're going to buy them. Stick with us through this whole entire video. I'm going to get you know exactly what you need to do to sell your spices to your spice customers. We're going to get to that right now. All right, so welcome back to Marketing Food Online. It's Damian Roberti, founder and CEO of Marketing Food Online. So in this video, I'm going to specifically dive into the world of spice businesses. And definitely, if you had just launched your spice business, you need to know exactly who is going to buy them. And you might be quite shocked at the large variety, not just people who use them for spices, for cooking with, but even in industrial situations are used in a lot of cases for health and wellness, beverages, pharmaceutical, and, well, you'll have to watch all the way to the end. So definitely take a note. You want to definitely hit the subscribe button. If this is your first video here at Marketing Food Online, we have over 1,000 videos for you, the food entrepreneur. And as a matter of fact, spices is one of the best topics here on our channel of Marketing Food Online. So you definitely want to check out the other videos we have on our shows. So, all right, let's get right into it. So a culinary world without spices is unimaginable. Of course, since the beginning of civilization, spices have played a crucial role in shaping our diets and cuisines, transforming ordinary ingredients into gastronomic delights. But in our contemporary society, its demand has shown that it's been growing for decades, much more than normal than any other type of food product or food ingredient. So we want to know exactly who the spice market is. But before we dive into the specifics, it's important to define what a spice actually is. In general, spices are dried parts of various plants that have aromatic and pungent properties. They may actually include seeds, roots, berries, barks, or even flower buds. Now, to ascertain the exact target market for these spices, we need to break down the various consumer segments. And that's what we're going to cover. So number one, home cooks. Keep in mind home cooks. So home cooks represent a significant consumer segment within the spice market. They are individuals who enjoy preparing meals at home, whether they are sustenance, hobby, or for the love of culinary arts. But home cooks value spices for their capacity to transform everyday meals into something special. The market within this group spans all age brackets, which is really important to understand, and the socioeconomic classes, from the college student experimenting with their first dish to the stay-at-home parent preparing meals every single day for their family. You definitely want to target home cooks when you are looking for your target market. Number two, professional chefs and restaurateurs. Now, of course, don't ever forget professional chefs and restaurateurs represent another major segment within the target market for spices. Restaurants, cafes, catering services, and other food service establishments rely heavily on spices to create their signature dishes and offer unique flavors. And in this competitive field, spices are essential tools to differentiate and capture taste buds for their clientele and customers in restaurants all over the world. Number three, this is a unique one, health and wellness enthusiasts. So in recent years, there has been a surge in interest in the health benefits of spices. Turmeric, for example, is lauded as an anti-inflammatory property, while cinnamon is known to help manage blood sugar levels. Health and wellness enthusiasts, which include individuals focused on fitness, those dealing with specific health conditions, and those seeking a more natural lifestyle, have grown this segment of the spice market dramatically over the past 20 years. Now, let's explore a little bit of industrial demand for spices. Yes, that actually exists. Beyond the actual individual consumers, as we had just mentioned, and several industries contribute significantly to the demand of spices. Now, these industries utilize spices not just for the flavor, but also for their preservative and potential health benefits in the food industry. Number one, the food and beverage industry. Now, food and beverage industry is perhaps actually the largest consumer of spices. Believe it or not, spices are indispensable in the production of a vast variety of products, from canned goods to sauces, snacks, ready-made meals, frozen foods, beverages, and, well, the list goes on and on. It is a huge segment of the industry that actually uses spices. Number 2, the pharmaceutical industry. Believe it or not, yes, spices are also found in prominent places in the pharmaceutical industry. Many spices are known to possess medicinal properties and are used in the production of various drugs and actually health supplements, believe it or not. Number 3, this was really interesting when we were doing research for this video, cosmetics and personal care industry. So spices is actually something very interesting, have made their way into cosmetics and personal care industry as well, with many companies using them in skincare and even hair care products. Spices, for instance, like turmeric and saffron are often used in these products due to their potential skin health benefits. Now let's get into a little geographics, if you will. Now this is the market for spices, geographically speaking. Now geographically, the target for market for spices can be found across the globe. Now, however, certain regions are more prominent consumers due to cultural culinary traditions and the influence of regional cuisine. Now, Asian, Middle Eastern, and even some of North Africa are key consumers, with countries like India, Morocco, China having cuisines that are heavily reliant upon spices. Now, Western countries like the USA, UK, and Canada also represent a significant market, especially with the growing trend in experimenting with international cuisine. Now, something to look forward in the future. What exactly, Damien, does the spice market look at in the next 5 to 10 years? As people around the world continue obviously explore new cuisines and become more health conscious, the market for spices is expected to grow 15 to 20% year over year. The demand for organic and ethically sourced spices is also on the rise, now presenting new opportunities and challenges within the spice industry. But keep in mind, the vast and diverse landscape of the target market for spices encompasses not just individual consumers of varying lifestyles and professions, but also several different industries. Understanding this complex web of spice consumers can help businesses effectively strategize to meet the evolving tastes and preferences within this market. Now, whether one is a home cook seeking to add flair to meals, a restaurateur aiming to create mouth-watering dishes, or individuals seeking natural health solutions, spices do hold a significant place in our lives, shaping many of the food and influencing our well-being. So if you're looking to create or expand your spice business, do keep this information in mind. You might want to write down a few of these pointers and tips to keep in mind when you start to research the demographic more specifically as to what type of spice you're going to sell. Now, if you have any questions about starting and launching a spice business or even scaling one, let us know down below, and I'll see you guys on our next video.
All right, so welcome back for another deep dive. You know how much we both love getting into the nitty-gritty of any topic?
Oh, yeah.
So today, we're taking a look at marketing strategies for spice businesses. Specifically, we have this really in-depth guide here. And it outlines how to really boost sales and profits.
Right.
Like we're talking turning your little spice startup into a real profitable venture.
Exactly.
So let's dive right in.
Let's do it.
And talk about the foundation of a successful spice business. So first and foremost, online presence. That's got to be
Absolutely.
number one, right?
Yeah, it all starts with a really good website.
Okay.
And not just a basic website. I'm talking a professional, set up with an e-commerce store.
Got it.
Maybe a blog where you share, spice-related content like recipes,
okay.
health benefits, things like that. And then really importantly, a section for customer reviews.
Oh, yeah, because reviews are like digital gold.
Right? They're like social proof.
Exactly.
In the online world, people really do trust what do the customers say.
Yeah, totally.
So if you can get those positive reviews up there, it builds a lot of credibility.
And trust.
Exactly.
So then how do we even get people to the website in the first place?
Right. Well, that's where SEO comes in.
SEO.
Yeah. Search engine.
Yes.
Optimization.
That can be kind of a rabbit hole.
It can be a little overwhelming, but this guide actually breaks it down pretty nicely.
Okay, perfect.
So think about using keywords like organic spice business, buy wholesale spices, best homemade spice mixes, things like that people are actually searching for.
Okay, so it's about anticipating what people are typing in.
Exactly. You want to get into the mind of the customer.
Got it.
And think about what they're searching for online.
Okay, that makes sense. So then social media, obviously,
of course,
huge for any business. But especially I feel like for food and spices, because it's so visual.
Absolutely. This guide specifically talks about Instagram and TikTok. Oh, yeah?
Using those platforms to share, spice recipe video.
Like quick little videos.
Yeah, exactly. Little cooking demos, things like that.
Okay.
Really visually appealing content.
Right, because people eat. with their eyes first.
Exactly. You want to entice them with those beautiful visuals.
So we're thinking like vibrant colors,
Yeah.
delicious looking food.
Yes. All those close-ups of the spices.
And then those customer testimonials, again, like we talked about on the website.
Yeah, user-generated content.
It's so powerful.
It's super authentic. People trust it.
Yes.
And then don't forget about hashtags.
Ah, yes. The all-important hashtags.
I got to use those relevant hashtags.
Like what?
So think hashtag organic spices, hashtag spice blends, hashtag healthy cooking, things like that.
Okay, and what about influencer marketing?
Oh, that's a great one.
Because there are so many food influencers out there.
There are. And partnering with them can really help you reach a wider audience. So think about connecting with food bloggers, chefs, even home cooks who have a strong following online. All right, so it doesn't even have to be like a super famous chef.
No, not at all.
It could be someone who just has a really engaged audience that loves to cook.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And then you mentioned Pinterest and YouTube earlier.
Oh, yeah, those are great too, especially for recipes and tutorials.
Yeah, Pinterest is perfect for those beautiful spice blend recipe photos.
I can just imagine like a gorgeous spice blend all laid out with like the recipe card.
Exactly. And then on YouTube, you can create engaging videos.
Yeah.
Demonstrating like DIY spice mixes.
Oh, cool.
Or even explaining the health benefits of specific spices.
That's a good idea. So you can really dive deep into the educational content there.
Absolutely. And don't forget about running spice giveaway contests.
Well, this is a good idea.
To boost engagement and brand awareness.
Yeah, get people excited about your spices.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered online presence, social media. What about email and content marketing?
Ah, yes. Those are crucial for customer retention.
Okay, so how do we keep those customers coming back for more?
Well, email marketing campaigns are a great way to offer exclusive discounts.
Oh, yeah.
New spice recipes, loyalty rewards, things like that to keep people engaged.
So it's not just about like, hey, buy our spices.
No, it's about providing value, building relationships.
I like that.
And with email, you can really tailor the content to specific customer segments.
Oh, like personalized recommendations.
Exactly.
Based on like past purchases.
Yeah. If someone bought a smoked paprika blend, send them recipes featuring smoked paprika.
Oh, I love that. That's so smart.
Make them feel special.
And what about content marketing?
So content marketing, that ties in really well with the blog we talked about earlier.
Okay.
So think about creating blog posts on topics like how to use spices for health, homemade spice mixes, cooking with exotic spices.
Okay, so like a mix of educational and inspirational content.
Exactly. You want to educate your audience, but also inspire them to get creative in the kitchen.
I like it.
And
you know what else I was thinking about?
what's that?
Is maybe guest posting on other food and wellness blogs
Oh, that's a fantastic idea.
to reach a wider audience.
Yeah, that way you're tapping into an already established audience.
Yeah, and establishing yourself as an authority in the niche.
Exactly.
Perfect. So we've talked about building a strong foundation.
Yeah.
Engaging with our audience. But now let's talk about scaling up for success.
Yes, scaling up for higher profits.
Exactly.
So this guide talks about wholesale and retail marketing.
Okay, so how do we go about that?
So for wholesale, think about connecting with restaurants, health food stores, gourmet retailers.
Oh.
You can offer them bulk discounts, maybe create custom spice blends.
Tailored to their needs.
Exactly.
That's a good idea.
Right.
So it's like a win-win
Absolutely.
for both businesses. And then what about retail?
So retail, you can explore different avenues like spice subscription boxes. Those are really popular right now.
Those are so fun.
Yeah, it's a great way to encourage repeat sales.
Yeah.
Offer monthly boxes with rotating flavors. Oh, I love that. Like a little spice adventure delivered to your door. And then maybe even gift packages for like holidays and special occasions.
That's a great idea.
Because who doesn't love spices as a gift?
Everybody loves spices.
It's such a unique gift idea.
It is.
So, okay, we've covered so much in this deep dive.
We have.
But just to recap, it's all about building a strong online presence.
Yes.
Leveraging social media.
Yeah.
Utilizing email and content marketing.
Yeah.
And exploring wholesale and retail opportunities.
Exactly.
And I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is that it's not just about selling spices.
No.
It's about building a brand.
It is. You want to create a brand that people connect with.
Yes, that they trust.
Absolutely.
And that they get excited about.
Exactly.
So in a world where everyone is so busy,
yes,
how can we make our spice business stand out?
That's the key question.
and offer convenience,
right?
as well as those unique flavors.
Think about things like pre-portioned spice blends
Ah,
for specific recipes, so I don't even have to measure.
exactly. Just dump it in.
I love that. Or like ready-to-go spice kits
Yes.
for popular dishes, so I don't even have to think about what spices to use.
Exactly. It's all about making it easy and convenient for the customer.
And then they can focus on enjoying the delicious flavors.
Exactly.
Perfect. So listeners, as you embark on your spice business journey, remember to stay curious, experiment with these different strategies, and most importantly, let your passion for flavor shine through.
That's the key. Let that passion shine.
And with that, we'll see you in the next deep dive.
Sounds good.
How do I start my own spice business is a question you may be asking yourself. And if it is, guess what? In this video, I'm actually going to answer a question from one of our subscribers about launching a farm growing spices commercially. He wanted to know who would buy my crop and where is that marketplace located. So if you're looking to launch a spice business, you definitely want to watch this video because I'm going to break down for you several ways that you can actually sell spices, as well as tell you specifically the types of marketplaces that you could sell your spice to. So welcome to Marketing Food Online. It's Damian Roberti. And if this is your first video, definitely hit the subscribe button. We are all about food entrepreneurship and giving you tips, tricks, and pointers for food entrepreneurs everywhere. So I'm going to dive right specifically into this and waste no time. I actually did a little bit of research. I had a couple of friends who I contacted who are in the spice industry, and they gave me some pointers. So we're going to run down really quick. I got some great graphics I'm going to put up here on the screen, help you kind of walk through this as well. So who would buy your spices? Okay, so who are your customers? That's probably the first question you're going to ask if you're launching a spice business, either commercially or, of course, from home. Number one, spice manufacturers and blenders. Now, these are companies that actually blend, package, and sell spices to grocery stores, convenience stores, etc., retail outlets, basically. Now, I have some examples. You could sell, believe it or not, you could sell to McCormick, Frontier Co-op, Simply Organic, or even Spiceology. These larger companies actually work with growers who grow specific spices. So if you want to get into commercial spice growing, these would be companies you might want to reach out to, believe it or not, because many of those companies utilize private farms or spice farms that are owned by families or mid-sized to large commercial spice growers. So specifically, those would be some great companies you want to reach to. Now, what they want, well, they're going to buy basically bulk quantities, consistent quality of those spices, which is a bit challenging, but you want to make sure that they are consistently, as far as the quality. These companies definitely do really good business with farms if you're looking to start one, but they do have standards and such, even often organic or certified products as well. Your facility or your farm would need to have to go through organic certification, which is a bit pricey initially, but in the long run, once it's done and finished, it's definitely worth it. Now, how do you reach them? Well, you can actually attend trade shows, spice trade shows. You can reach them direct outreach. You can just call them up and say, look, who are your buyers? Or if you want to contract with them and become a vendor, ask them what the process is. Believe it or not, LinkedIn is another great one. LinkedIn is good for reaching out to buyers and large companies if you've got a specific product and you want to reach them directly. Specialty ingredient expos. Now, these are also like food expos and such, but dedicated to the spice industry. You can reach out to them as well, and you can even connect there with them also. Now, number two, specialty food brands or even artisanal producers. Now, these are small batch like sauce makers, rub creators. Those are like those dry rubs that people put on ribs or steaks. Health food companies as well. These are also great places to reach out to because a lot of them use these types of herbs. And if you can't get into the larger, bigger businesses, such as the McCormick's and such, you can reach out to some of these smaller ones. Now, example, like hot sauce companies, soup mixes, curry kits, even gourmet spice rub startups. These are great companies to reach out to if you're looking to commercially grow spices. Now, what do they want? Well, unique or local varieties. So these would be like heirloom peppers, turmeric, or saffron even in some cases. Now, I know certain regions of the world specifically grow saffron, and that is a tricky spice. It's very expensive, actually very profitable, but it has a specific type of atmosphere as such and region in which it can be grown and can't be. So you want to be careful with stuff like that. But all in all, you can definitely look out to them. Now, how to reach them? Well, Instagram, you email pitches. You can even just dry email them and see who you can contact
Who are the buyers? Now, this is a lot easier to connect with because they are smaller specialty brands. They're not so big. Industry groups as well, or even craft food expos. Again, reaching out to people that you can just literally shake hands with, network with, and give them a business card and let them know what you're doing. Number 3, ethnic grocery stores, or even co-ops. Now, this is actually a really even simpler version because you can do this on a commercial scale. Now, these often seek fresh, high quality, or even culturally specific spices in bulk or even prepackaged. How do you reach them? Well, local wholesale programs within the city or county that you're in, direct sales, networking through local chamber of commerce. This is also a great way to get a hold of people who would be the buyers in that situation. But ethnic grocery stores are of course everywhere, and it's easy for you to actually connect with. Number 4 is restaurants and chefs. Now, this is even a very unique way that you can do this, especially farm to table, organic, or even fine dining restaurants. They love locally grown spices and herbs. And in some cases, they can buy it in quite a large bulk from you as well, making it obviously a lot easier and cheaper for you to distribute your spices once you've grown them. Now, what they are looking for, what do they want? Well, fresh, local, and ethically grown spices is definitely something a lot of these farm to table, organic, fine dining restaurants look for. So that is another route that you could take if you're looking to start in a commercial spice business. Now, how do you reach them? Well, basically a cold outreach. You can even just go to the restaurants and, hey, look, I want to talk to your head chef. I've got a local farm. I'm growing commercial spices and herbs. Would love to see if we can get some business done with you. Restaurant supplier networks as well, or even local food associations. Number 5, now this is a big one because it has a big exposure for you and it's direct from you to consumers. Online retailers or your own DTC brand. Now that means direct to consumer, by the way. Sell directly to consumers via email, Amazon, Etsy, even your own website. How do you do that? Well, package and brand your spices for retail, add recipes and content marketing. You want to consider creating blends, maybe even spice kits. Okay. Number 6, bulk buyers and wholesalers. Now, these are a great place to unload a lot of commercially grown spices and herbs. Sell your harvest to bulk resellers. Now, what they do is they'll buy, let's say, 100 to 200 pounds of a certain spice. They break it down and they're going to resell it themselves, but they're going to buy it from you in bulk. What they do is sell it online. They tell it to stores. Some example platforms like Frontier Co-packer Wholesale, Star West Botanicals, or Mountain Rose Herbs. So these are also places that you can do as well. Now, here's the other part of the question. So where is the marketplace for selling your spices? Now, in-person and business-to-business markets, specialty food trade shows. This would be like Fancy Food Show, the Natural Products Expo, Farmers Market. That's kind of a local retail, direct-to-consumer possible avenue you can take. Local restaurants and cafes, co-ops and specialty grocery chains. The other part to think about is online wholesale and retail marketplaces. Now, this is like basically wholesale larger quantities, but reaching people through the internet. That would be like Alibaba, which is a great platform to reach the globe in regards to spices and herbs. Fair.com as well to sell to small boutiques or shops wholesale. RangeMe is a great way to actually connect you to big buyers like Whole Foods or Walmart. Amazon, Etsy, even Shopify. This is going to be for retail, direct-to-consumer branded spice products. Believe it or not, even Facegram and Instagram shops. Okay, Facebook and Instagram. This is a good place to sell as well. Finally, to close it off, if you definitely want to look at a pro tip, here is a good idea. Instead of trying to grow everything, you might want to focus on 1 to 3 high demand, high margin spices, like let's say turmeric. This is actually great in health and wellness markets, and it's a huge call for that. Chili peppers have a huge call for like hot sauces, snack foods, even just global cuisine in general. So chili peppers are huge. Coriander, cumin, and fennel. That's actually also heavily used in Indian and Middle Eastern cuisine. And then lastly, saffron. Tiny volume, but extremely high value. These are also something you want to think about as well. So if you're looking to start that business, and like I said in the beginning, you asked, how do I start my own spice business? Well, here's some great tips and pointers on who you could reach if you're looking to do it commercially and start a spice farm. So if you have any questions about this, let me know down below. And if you actually launched a spice business, how is it going? What are some of the challenges that you faced when you first launched your spice business that you've overcome or that you're in right now? If there's anything we can do, let us know in the comments and I'll try to create a video and answer your questions as well. I'll see you on our next video. All right, so if you're looking to create a spice business, I'm going to show you the step-by-step tutorial on how to create a spice business plan in literally less than probably 5 minutes or so. I actually use ChatGPT, and this AI program, as you probably have heard of AI before, and ChatGPT creates and helps create these types of business plans in a matter of seconds. So let me show you the exact prompt that I would use if I was launching my spice business today and starting from scratch, and I needed a business plan, which I highly recommend you do, by the way. Business plans can help you get loans. They can help you understand and outline the future of your business to give you a good mindset to know where to go. Now, keep in mind, over the years, you will probably change your business plan, and that is perfectly okay. I've been in business for about 14 years now, and my business plan has altered and changed multiple times, which is okay. It's actually good. As you evolve and as you grow, that business plan will change. But it's always important, in my belief, to always have something in black and white down on paper that's really good. So, without further ado, let's dive into this. So, I am launching a spice business and need a outline for my business plan. Now, I need it to be a fill in the blank. Here we go. Fill in the blank style business plan outline. I probably spelled a couple words wrong. I've got brand new glasses, so bear with me. All right, so we're good to go. A fill in the blank. Now, why are you doing a fill in the blank? Okay, so I'm going to take this document and I'm actually going to go over to my Microsoft tablet. This is going to be the one that's going to allow me to actually fill out this form. Now, I'm going to have this create the outline, and then we can alter it as it goes. But the prompt I would definitely recommend is, I am launching a spice business. I need an outline and the business plan for my business. Now, I need you to fill in the blanks. So watch what this does. This is amazing. So in a matter of just a few seconds, let it go and think, and this is going to break it down so I can literally fill in the blanks of this information. Now, I'm using ChatGPT's new O1 Mini feature, which is pretty mind-boggling because it's very fast, very accurate, and it even has better logic, has better reasoning. So I'm actually going to take all of this amazing information. Look at this. Literally covers every aspect. Now, 1 second, let me copy and paste this, and then I'll show you what this looks like in Google Docs. So let's hop over to this, and we are going to paste. All right, we have everything from the appendix on the all the way to the top here. The executive summary, so this is going to be your business name, your business address, contact information, and mission statement. So you basically literally fill this in. Now, the reason why I use Google Docs, of course, is because it's very easy to edit documentation or documents inside of this, of course. So we're going to go ahead and go over here. Once this is already done, we can simply add this. So let's say the business name was Damien's Spice Business. And you literally can just fill this out, okay? But you definitely want to highlight and eliminate that line. A business address, 123, anywhere USA, okay? And of course, contact information and limit. You go through each one of these and specifically make it to your own business, okay? Summary of financial projections. We project revenues of. In this type of a format literally will be sufficient enough for you to, number one, at least have a good understanding of where you want to take your spice business. This is for your own personal use. Now, you can use this even to the point where you want to apply for a loan or you want to go to a bank. You can put this in there because really, honestly, all of this information covers the basics and the gist of what you're going to do. Now, if you go to somebody in a bank and they want more information, you can, of course, come back and edit this even more. But literally in under 5 minutes, I just showed you a prompt that will give you a fill-in-the-blank version of a spice business plan. You don't have to rack your brains and to figure out, well, how do I do all this? What am I supposed to add to it? It does it for you. Now, use that prompt, of course, that I just showed you, and we can take a look here. Like company description. Okay, business, sole proprietor. So you can literally also check this off, and one of these obviously will apply and the rest won't. You can eliminate those. So let's say you had an LLC. You simply delete this, and you have an LLC. Ownership details. I, along with my wife, own 50% each of this business. And there you go. You can simply fill it in. The location and facilities, if it's a home business, maybe you're starting from home. Perfectly legal, by the way, because almost every single state in the United States allows you to create businesses from home. Market analysis, this will give you, and of course, by the way, you can print this out. So you have a hard copy, and you can sit here and you can update this and change this as it goes, okay? Target audience, you can also find out even more of this information using ChatGPT, and I'll show you that in a second. Market analysis, you can update that and have it give that information to you. Organization management, who's going to be running it, who's managing it, the structure. Again, the owner, CEO, managers, staff. All of this information is super, super specific, and it's amazing how this can do for you in literally minutes. Product lines and services, so the product, the name of the product that you're doing, the description, packaging, pricing. And again, you can duplicate this. Maybe you've got 5 different types of spices or what have you. Let's go ahead and take this, copy it, put it down here. You want to do this. Let's go ahead and put that back. And you can simply paste that on. See? So if you have a product line that has maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe you've got 4, just simply paste that product name and add that on there, okay? Very, very simple. Product life cycle. So our products go through the following stages, and then of course you can elaborate on that specifically if you've got multiple stages that the product goes through. Research and development, sourcing and suppliers. We source our spices from, and then you can list, hey, I've got 12 online vendors. I source them fresh. They're from overseas. Some are from the U.S. You can break that down, okay? Marketing and sales strategy. So what kind of strategy do you have? Our brand name is, maybe it's Golden Spices. Promotional strategies. List 1, 2, 3. You can list as many as you want. How are you going to promote them? Through e-commerce. We also can go through social media, etc. YouTube videos are great. YouTube videos, maybe you're showing how your spices can be used in cuisines and dishes and you're cooking with them. You can add that in there. Advertising channels, again, well, here it goes, some social media, etc. Okay. Sales strategy, channels, online stores, retails, you can focus on all of them, or maybe you can say, you know what, we're going to go to do all of them, and that way you can explain more specifically. Online stores, we offer them via Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and Walmart.com. So these are ways that you can explain specific retail stores. We are looking to get into, Kroger nationwide, let's say. So this is really, when I say fill in the blank, it really literally is that, and you can take your time and go through this, and it really helps you also to brainstorm yourself within your own mind, figuring out what specifically you want to add. Funding requests. So we require, let's say we're going to do 100,000. Sorry about that. There we go. 100,000 to $250,000 to start. The use of the funds, so you can explain. Initial advertising, we can use that as well. E-commerce build out. Maybe you're building out a website and you need money. So specific use of the funds, future plans. Repayment plan, okay? If you have a repayment plan, then you can specify how we, I'm going to pay X amount of dollars each month. We're looking to get this rate, et cetera, et cetera. Financial projections. So revenue model, so our revenue comes from, and again, this is something that you can elaborate. Where does that revenue come from? Going back to maybe retail sales, wholesale sales. Projected income for the first year. So revenue, we're hoping to do 150,000, and it's amazing how easy this is. Expenses of around 75,000, etc. This can really take so much time off of making a spice business plan. And the appendix, resumes of key team members. Okay, so basically adding information of key team members who you brought on board, those staff that are working with you, explain to them in detail what they do. All of this is really important, especially if you're seeking funding. If someone wants to invest, either if it's a private venture capitalist, if it's a bank that's giving you a loan, the more information, the better, okay? Because they need to know that you know what you're talking about. You know how the business will launch, how to repay the funds you're going to get. The more you know, the better off you are. You're going to spice plan. This is definitely one of the fastest and easiest ways to do it. ChatGPT and AI can do it for you. Like I said, here's the prompt. You can simply just ask it, hey, I'm launching a spice business and I need an outline for my business plan. I need it to be a fill-in-the-blank style business plan, so that'll allow you to do what I just showed you. So if this was helpful, let us know down below.